Hello, Robs. We're back with Cawdor by Robinson Jeffers, a narrative poem from 1928. 6. The window was black still. No cock had cried, nor shiver of dawn troubled the air. The stale lamp shone and smelled. Ah, what a silence. She crossed the room and shook Concha. Get up, Concha. He has died. I was alone and have closed his mouth. Now I'll go out. She thought in the hallway. Besides, I am greedy to be caught in Hood's room. We can but die. What's that? Where did this come from? She whispered, staring at the candle she held, without a memory of having found nor lighted it. She opened Hood's door and shut it behind her. He has died. No answer. Then Farah felt the tears in her eyes, dried up with fear. You haven't gone. Are you here, Hood? She saw him lifting his face from the shadows like a sea lion from the wave. I dreaded you'd slip away from here in my night. It is finished, and I alone was by him. Your father's flitch of dark meat snored in a corner. He has died. All the wild mind and jagged attempts are sealed over. Her voice lifted and failed. He saw her sleepwalker face, candle-lighted from below, the shadow of the chin covering the mouth, and of the cheekbones the eyes to make it the mask of a strained ecstasy, strained, fleshless almost. Herself was wondering what sacred fear restrained her. She'd meant to go touch, but here, desire at the height, burned crystals separate. He said, staring, Have you called my father? I'll dress and come. What can I do? Do you think I will call? She said quietly. Cawdor? She stopped and said, Death is no terror. I have just left there. Is there anything possible to fear and not take what we want openly with both hands? I have been unhappy, but that was foolish. For now I know that whatever bent this world around us, whether it was God or whether it was blind chance piled on chance as blind as my father, is perfectly good. We're given $1 of life to gamble against $1's worth of desire, and if we sin, we have both but losers lose nothing. Oh, nothing. How are they worse off than my father, or a stone in the field? Why, Hood, do you sleep naked? She asked him, seeing the candle gleam on the arm and shoulder. I brought no night clothes with me, he sullenly answered. I didn't expect people at night. What do you want? Nothing. Your breasts more smooth than rubbed marble, no hair like other men in the groove between the muscles. It is like a girl's except the hardness and the flat strength. No, why do you cover it? Why may I not look down with my eyes? I'd not hide mine. No doubt I'll soon die, and happy if I could earn that marble to be my gravestone. You might cut letters in it. I know it never would bleed, it would cut hard. Fair Marshal, you'd carve the letters of a saved name. Why should they fall like grains of sand and be lost forever on the monstrous beach? But while I breathe, I have to come back and beat against it, that stone for nothing. Wave after wave, a broken-winged bird, wave after wave, beats to death on the cliff. Her blood in the foam. If I were another man's wife and not Cawdor's, you'd pity me. Being what you are, he answered. He rose in the bed angrily. Her eyes took hold like hands upon the beautiful bent shoulders, plated from the bone with visible power. Long ridges lifting the smooth skin, the hunter's slenderness and strength. Being what you are will gather the shame back on your mind and kill it. We've not been made to touch what we would loathe ourselves for to the last drop. She said, What were you saying? Do you think I should be shameless as a man making love to reluctance, the man to you for a woman? If I had time, if you were not going tomorrow, if I just had time, I'd use a woman's cunning manners, the cat patience, and watchfulness. But shame dies on the precipice lip. I hear them stirring in the house, he answered. You lie, Hood, you hear nothing. This little room on the north is separate and makes no sound. Your father used to visit his thing here. You children slept and heard nothing. You fear him, of course. I can remember having feared something. That's long ago. I forget what. Look at me once. Stone eyes. Am I too horrible to look at? If I've no beauty at all, I have more than Concha had when she was more fawn than sow in her lean years. Did your father avoid her? I must have done something in ignorance to make you hate me. If I could help it, would I come fresh from the death of the one life I have loved to make myself your fool and tell you I am shameless if I could help it? Oh, that's the misery. You look at me and see death. I am dressed in death instead of a dress. I have drunk death for days. Makes me repulsive enough. No wonder. But you too, Hood, will drink it sometime for all your loathing. There are two of us here. Shall not escape. Oh, but we shall, though, if you are willing. There is one clean way. We'll not take anything of Cawdor's. I have 2 horses of my own, and you can feed us with the rifle. Only to ride beside you is all I want. But I would waken your soul in your eyes. I could teach you joy. I know that you love liberty. I'd never touch your liberty. Oh, let me ride beside you a week, then you could leave me. I'd be your whatever you want, but you could have other women. That wouldn't kill me, but not to be with you is death and torture. Her hope died of his look. I know we came from the fire only to fail. Fail, fail, it's bred in the blood. But, she cried suddenly, you lie when you look like that. The flesh of my body is nothing in my longing. What you think I want will be pure dust after hundreds of years, and something from me be crying to something from you high up in the air. She heard the door open behind her. She turned on the door. Cawdor had come. She cried, have you waked at last? You sleep like logs, you and your son. He has died. I can wake nobody. I banged your door, but this one was unlatched, and when I knocked, it flew open. Yet I can't wake him. And I can't turn the page. Is it decent to leave me alone with the sow Concha in the pit of sorrow? His confused, violent eyes moved and shunned hers and worked the room with the ancient look of men spying for their own dishonor, as if it were a lost jewel. How long ago did you knock? I have been awake. What do I know of time? He has died. She watched him tremble, controlling with more violence the violence in him, and he said, I know he has died. I came from that room. Then Farah, knowing that Hood looked like a boy caught in a crime, but herself like innocence. How did you dare to go in? Oh, yes, the dead never stand up. But how did you dare? You never once hid your contempt while he was living. You came and cursed him because our cow died in the creek. Did he want it to die? Then what have you done just now? Spat in his face? I was not there. He lay at your memory. She felt her knees failing, and a sharp languor melt through her body. She saw the candle flame. She had set the candles on the little table, circling in a short orbit, and Cawdor's face wavered. Strange, heavy face with the drooping brows and confused eyes said something heavily, unheard, and Farah answered, Certainly I could have gone in and called you, but I was looking about the house for someone that loved him. You were one of the hunters that hunted him down. I thought that Hood, but no, did he care? I couldn't awaken him. This flesh will harden. I'll be stoned too, and not again go hot and wanting pity in a desert of stones. But you, that old blind man whom you despised, he lived in the house among you, a hawk in a molehill, and now he's flown up. Oh, death is over like heaven over deep hell. She saw Michael in the door. You're here too, Michael? My father has died. You loved him. She said in the hallway, Are you well, Michael? I'm not, but when I slept a snatch of the early night, I dreamed about you. You wrapped yourself in the mountain lion skin that Hood gave me, and Jesus, or is it Jesus, Akana, shot you for a lion. What an awful thing to tell a kid. And there's that. Goodbye, bruvs. Goodbye. For now. 4 minutes. Goodbye, bruv.